All of last year, I was determined to try and make a pair of pants that fit me perfectly, and I can't say that I've achieved it yet. I talked about my pants making struggle in my 2023 review video, and an artist named Ann Tilley Handmade actually reached out to me and said, why don't you try my pant pattern? And so today, we are making Ann Tilley Handmade's Magic Pants. The Magic Pants look like a tailored high-waisted pant, but they actually have a hidden elasticated stretch panel, I think, and some hidden elastic. And the vibe is that you should be able to adjust these to your waist measurement at all times, allowing for fluctuation and weight change and all such things. They look beautiful, and I'm so excited to make them. Usually when I make a pattern, I just print it off out of my printer and I stick it all together, but Ann Tilley actually graciously sent me her full pant making kit. So I have here the pattern, which I've already cut out, the instruction booklet, and a little notions kit, which comes with all of the notions you need to make the pants, like buckles, cotton twill tape, elastic D-rings, and the elasticated stretch panels. I've thrifted 4 large cotton chair covers, I think, and they're kind of a thick texture in between what I would say a cotton drill and a cotton canvas would be. I'm hoping this makes up into a nice pair of pants because the pattern is kind of sick, and I love that the fabric is reclaimed. Let's make these pants! Oh, also, if we've never met before, my name is Carly. I'm a sewist here on YouTube. I love making stuff. I'm excited that you're here. Let's do this thing. Whenever I go to the op shop, I always look for textiles. I just think it is so exciting when you find that perfect fabric, and you just never know if the op shop is going to provide. And today it really did. These 4 cushion covers made the perfect fabric for the Magic Pants. I was, however, really lucky that they did fit. They were big enough for the pattern to fit on top of them. It was tight, but it was just fine. Okay, all my pattern pieces are cut out, which is awesome, but unfortunately now I have to go to the dentist, so I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna get into construction. I'm back from the dentist. My retainer out. Yes, let's go. It felt like Christmas came early with this Notion kit from Anne. It came with every single thing I needed to make the pants, except for fabric, of course, as well as this beautifully written and just really nicely formatted instructional booklet. I found it to be enjoyable to read, and you'll see in this video, I just kind of fly through the construction process because it was very straightforward. I had everything I needed to make the pants with the Notion kit. The instructions were great. I had kind of no hiccups where I usually would talk to camera and kind of discuss with you guys, what do I need to do? How is this progressing? It just kind of progressed very easily, which I love. But anyway, here is me constructing a little bit of these belt loopholes, which is where the adjustable belt will come through the pants. I found there to be lots of new construction techniques that I learned during this process, which I always find to be exciting when I'm doing a pattern. It's like, teach me something. Let me learn from you, the pattern maker. But yeah, I didn't want to go too in-depth into the actual ins and outs of construction just because this pattern is so original and unique and well engineered, and I think you guys should just go and buy the pattern. It's really awesome and well made. But here are just some clips so you can get some visuals. I'm just in the process of attaching my cotton twill tape to the top of the waistband, which is meant to kind of secure and stiffen and just add a bit more structure to the top of the waistband. And I just have to tell you how much I'm loving these instructions. They're so thorough, but also they're just really funny. She says, sew along each edge of the tape at 1/16 of an inch to secure. And then in italics, I also like to do a 3rd stitch down the middle, only because I think it looks cool. And I'm gonna do it because I want mine to look cool too. These are the instructions I want. Give me the tea, sis. One of my other favorite quotes from the instructions, Anne says, when washing your pants after completion, either turn them inside out or secure the straps to each D-ring to protect the seams from tearing where the pocket bags meet at the base of the ribbed knit panel. Ask me how I know. Love. Okay. I'm going to do my 3 rows of stitching for this cotton twill tape because I want to be cool. Being introduced to cotton twill tape by this project was actually really helpful. I ended up using it in a dress project a few weeks later as a stabilizing force around a neckline and I think armholes. But yeah, I had never interacted with it before and I didn't know you could use it as a stabilizer, and I really enjoyed it as an alternative to interfacing. And yeah, thank you, Anne, for that little hot tip there. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but whenever I interact with hardware and sewing, I'm like, hee hee hee, hee hee hee, woohoo. So fancy. So fancy and fun. Also, my dentist was like, haha, you talk different now that your retainer's out. So if I'm talking different, that's really embarrassing. Sorry. But now I can go like this. Here I am just constructing the center seam of the front pants, I guess. I sewed all the way down and then overlocked that edge. You could use a zigzag stitch if you don't have an overlocker. And of course I pressed that seam because that's the best part of sewing, arguably. I'm just right now having a moment of fear that what I thought was really good pattern matching actually just looks like very crotch-centered pattern placement. I don't know how else you're meant to work with stripes because I wanted them to sit straight on the leg, but at the crotch it's really, I don't know. I'm just gonna make them and we'll just suss it out. I had never seen a pocket bag pattern like this before in my life. It was very exhilarating and very cool. That's all I have to say on the matter. Place it on the seam allowance just above the stitch you sewed, 1/16 of an inch away, touching the pocket bag side. Sew twill tape at 16 inch. Instructions say now is the time to replace your normal presser foot with a zipper foot. And then following that, it just says, I know you don't feel like it, but I promise you it will be worth it. Like, how encouraging is that legitimately? Because no, didn't feel like it. But I'm gonna do it now. I just sewed my first D-ring into the front panel and it was definitely my like moment, but it went well. It totally went well, so I'll show you what I did. I love when you trust the instructions and it works. Literally, trusting instructions is how I've progressed in my sewing skills. I couldn't have gotten better if I didn't pick patterns that have random little things that I've never done before. For example, this one had cotton twill tape and D-rings and little holes for the belt loops. But another pattern might have buttons and buttonholes or zippers or, I don't know, other hardware. I think if you're someone who is at a beginner or an advanced beginner level and you want to progress to a new place in your sewing, picking a pattern that has good instructions but also incorporates at least one technique that you've never really engaged with is awesome. You simply will learn and you just trust that the person that made the pattern knew what they were talking about and you just do your best to following it along. And yeah, I feel like that's how I've improved over the years with my sewing, is just trying to actively learn from pattern makers and just pick up one or two things from each thing that I make. I'm so thankful to pattern makers for releasing such cool patterns, especially like this. Anyway, here I am kind of working with the elasticated portion of the pants, which actually sits at the front center of the pants and is hidden by a little flap. It's pretty inventive and cool. And yeah, following the instructions, getting the job done. For me, this was the part of the project where I was like, I don't recognize these shapes. I don't understand where we're heading. What is the picture? But yeah, I just say in my head, trust the process, keep going. Face down, pin them together. Serge along the seam allowance of the pocket bags, continuing across the bottom of the top bag, single layer that connects the two, resulting in one long curvy edge. You will end up with a hole between the ribbing and the top pocket bag. Breathe, this is normal. Okay. Okay, that step was not as daunting as I thought it would be. I think we're going okay. It's always like this when it gets to the pointy end of a project. You're like, I really hope this comes together. Front is done, apparently. That's cool. Me starting a project. Me 65-70% way through the project. I think it does feel like the pressure builds up the further you get into a project, because you just start thinking thoughts like, is this even going to work? Or have I just wasted all of this time and money and energy on this project? Like, oh,
Please work. Please work. Anyway, here is me kind of constructing the pants. This is the inner leg seam, and then I started pinning the outer leg seam as well.
I'm just about to sew the side seam of the pant up, but there's a really interesting technique where there was 3 inches left on top of the back panel, like this. That's like where we put the cotton twill tape. And from what I gather, this extra 3 inches gets folded over onto the front side, and it sandwiches the front panel. So it goes this little 3-inch flap, the front pants, and then the back pants. And then as you sew the side seam, apparently when you flip it out, it's kind of just going to finish the waist, apparently. It makes sense, but I just need to do it to understand it. That worked, but I accidentally made a mistake in which I lined up the cotton twill tape so that when you flipped it right side out, the stitching kind of is visible from the right side, and my waistband doesn't cover the hole here, which I just assume that the waistband is meant to fully come down and like cover that. So I just need to unpick my side seams and then just fold that over slightly more, and that will fix my issue. Okay, they're looking like pants. I have to serge those edges and add my little loops here, but we're really and truly almost done, and I can already tell that I immediately need to make another pair because these are comfy. They're real comfy, and I really like this baggy fit.
I overlocked my side seams because I was happy with the fit of them, and then I got to constructing these little belt loop sections. You basically just sew them right sides together, kind of trim or clip into the curve, and then you can fold them right sides out. Fold, pull them through, you get the picture. At this stage I tried it on and I was like, ooh, a little bit big, so I trimmed my elastic down and then re-pinned that in, and of course just fit tested that a few times until it was right.
It's fitting me well around the waist now. I had to take probably 4 inches off the elastic, and that's helped a lot. I think when I make it for the second time, I will just grade it so it's a tiny little bit smaller in some areas, just because there's a little bit of bunching. Although these pants fit me, I think next time I make them I will grade them to be a bit smaller, just because they are a tad big, and I think the elastic will work in its prime form when the pants fit just a little bit smaller for me. I made them in the extra small, so I'd probably just go down one more size grade if possible. But yeah, they feel great on. There's just a little bit of bunching around the sides and the back that I would try and avoid in a remake. Oh, the other interesting fit thing that I was just thinking about is I was like, oh, I feel like the pockets are just ever so slightly like coming out. I thought that I had made a mistake in the way that I'd sewn them, but I just realized because I've cut so much of the elastic out, this is actually bunching a bit to fit. So that's what's making the pockets come out. I really don't mind, and I'm loving the way these feel on my body, so I'm just going to progress with this as my first wearable toile, and I know I'm going to come back and I'm going to make these perfect. That's what toiles are for though. Like, it's a good fit test. Now I know how to make them, and I know that they're super comfortable, so that's awesome.
I tacked that elastic down very securely and then also tacked it into the waistband, stitching in the ditch down that center seam, and also stitching right where the belt loop holes are as well, just to keep everything in place where the waistband was.
Okay, aside from hemming the pants, all we have to do now is attach the socket and stud to the strap, which is awesome. I whipped these pants up. I think I started construction when I got back from the dentist, and that was about 3:30, and now it's 8 o'clock. So like a 6-hour project. That's awesome. Clasps are sewn on. I'm going to hem these off camera because it's just a hem, and then they're done. It's getting kind of late into the evening and I'm meant to be going rock climbing, so I'm hustling before the gym closes. These projects escape me, guys. It's like, it's dark outside. When did that happen? Don't know. I'm gonna hem these. I'm trying to sit in a way that you can see that I am wearing the pants. These pants are insanely comfortable. They look so cute, but they feel like you're wearing sweatpants because of the elasticated waist, but they also don't look like an elasticated waist. I'm so into the design. Now that I've constructed them and I've kind of understood all the process, I literally can't wait until I can make a second pair. I know I'm going to get a lot of wear out of them because they're already just so insanely comfortable and very fun. But yeah, next time around I'm going to grade the pattern smaller at the waist so I have less material bunching. I'll probably use a little bit less elastic and I'll use more durable fabric for the pockets on the inside. I used a really thin cotton and it kind of just feels like it wants to rip. I already had one little rip problem before, and yeah, I'll kind of up the durability there. Ann Tilley, you have smashed this pattern. It is absolutely incredible. Everyone needs to know about this pattern. If you are looking for a pants pattern to get into the world of pants, this is the one. It doesn't have a zipper, yet it's fitted. It's a beautiful, flattering fit. It's a pair of pants that you will wear again and again and again. This pattern is so thoughtful. It's honestly very heartwarming to be wearing them because I just love the design behind a pair of pants that moves with your body and accommodates for you in all seasons. That's just so beautiful and sustainable, and it means that we can wear pants all the time. I'll stop ranting. I'm just a really big fan. I loved making this pattern, and thank you so much for sending it to me, Anne. I absolutely adored it. I think it's time for the montage. Thank you for sticking around this long. I think you are amazing. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Wait, just before the montage, I just got back from rock climbing and I just decided that I have to make these slightly better. So I just unpicked the side seams and pulled in the pockets a little bit so they weren't gaping as much. And I also unpicked the elastic waistband and I made the inseam of the center inseam back, the center back seam smaller, by like an inch. It's a little bit hodgepodge. But I think everything sticks slightly better. My second time around will be perfect. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Here's the montage. 3, 2, 1, 8.